So I do see all these prediction videos on AI and everything like that. I wanted to give my little take, but I hope people prove me wrong with these predictions I'm going to be laying out. That's kind of foreshadowing, but I do still think most of these things are, gonna create opportunities. And also let me know what you are predicting for 2026. I'll make sure to check out your comments, and I do reply to comments. I check them out and view them and read them. So I'm just gonna lay down my 5 predictions I think of 2026, man. I generally think this is gonna be a crazy year, like a wild year, but my first prediction is gonna be number 1, AI backlash will reach its peak. I generally think people are going to get, it's already happening in my opinion.
I just saw on Reddit that you're using AI to replace human animators. Is that true?
I'd rather talk about our amazing
As
cast.
an animator, this is pure evil.
Do you have any questions for Ice Cube you'd like to ask?
You're taking jobs away from artists, real human artists. You're everything that's wrong with Hollywood.
Yeah, man, she right. AI is bullshit.
I'm already seeing a bunch of posts, revolt energy, just like enough, like chill out is kind of what people are saying. And this is giving me the same, not the same vibes as NFTs, because NFTs was kind of like a really niched down thing. AI is kind of a big, it's everything, it's everywhere, and it is very useful. But with all that good stuff also comes with bad stuff. And unfortunately, people are greedy. Right, and a great example of this is a post I've seen on Twitter that says the highest earning AI slop YouTube channel in the world, based in India, has earned over $4.25 million to date. Bandar Apna Cost creates AI videos featuring a monkey and a Hulk-like character. $4.25 million. I do generally think AI slop will get too saturated. It's just gonna be all over the place, and there's just gonna be too much. You don't even see regulations for this. Big techs and everything like that, they're not slowing down on it because it's profit, it's money, right? And it's generating money, like you just seen 4.25. So it's like they're not gonna slow it down. They have no incentive to, right? And they're gonna be blind to see that people are gonna get sick of it. It's just that simple. So YouTube is going a great place. I love YouTube. I've been on YouTube for like my whole career, but if they don't crack down on this AI slop machine, it's just gonna turn ugly. It's gonna turn really ugly really quick. So that's just one example in my opinion, and a lot of people are not really pointing it out. And I'm sick and tired of these AI gurus, bro. Like, most of them, their job is to market their business, so they're not gonna shit on AI. It's just gonna hurt them. I do generally think you have to be more authentic. You have to be real, you know what I mean? You have to really say it for what it is, for people that are just not everyone is gonna subscribe to this. In fact, there's gonna be a huge percentage of people that are gonna get tired of it. There's one guy on X said YouTube will crash like video games did if they don't kill the slop. In the 80s, Atari was king, but a glut of bad games flooded the market and the entire industry crashed. It wasn't until Nintendo came along with its seal of approval to certify good games and win trust back in the market. AI and YouTube slop are at the same similar crossroads. If YouTube continues to promote a fire hose of AI slop, it risks a YouTube crash, as people can't fade the good stuff, just rather drown in the AI slop. And he's basically saying YouTube better just check themselves straight up. AI companies should fear the same. Quality matters. And that's just what it is. I do see a lot of people at X, this website I'm on right now, this platform, promoting all these VO, nano, banana, cool imagery that can ship out to potential clients that you land out there and they might deem as useful for their business. At the same time, there's a lot of people that just don't even want to hear it, and they just see it as like fake, because it's fake. It is fake. It's not real. It's not a real person. So it's gonna take time for people. I don't think this is gonna be a long-term thing where people are just gonna be like, we don't want it. Because at the same time, there is some really cool stuff with AI that you can produce. Don't get me wrong, I've seen it all. And with Nano Banana, it's probably one of my favorite tools this year that cracked the market. But for me, I just look at things objectively. Not everyone is like me. Not everyone's gonna enjoy those photos. Not everyone's just gonna be like, yo, oh my god. That's why I try to be as transparent as possible whenever I'm, marketing my AI services, which if you don't know, I do AI automation and I make clients these operations. I do the whole operator thing. Like I create these systems, ship faster, things like that. But I'm very transparent when it comes to uncertainty, slop, just trust, credibility. Unfortunately, a lot of these AI gurus don't promote these things. Like they don't talk about it enough. Yeah, quality matters. It's gonna matter more than ever. So a lot of people are gonna, but here's the thing, there is gonna be a lot of people that just don't listen at all. And the people that do listen are just gonna stand out and we're just gonna win. It's just that simple. I don't it's just okay, go ahead, don't listen. We're just gonna win because we're authentic, we're real. AI slop characterized by its mass production of content that lacks authenticity and relevance. But what does that really mean? In 2025, it is estimated that more than 60% of content available on the web was created by artificial intelligence with little or no human oversight. This raises inevitable questions about the quality and value of information we consume and share daily. From a critical standpoint, many voices are raised to warn about the dangers of this type of content. The saturation of irrelevant material not only compromises our online experience, but also affects our way of interacting with the world. Meanwhile, from a technical perspective, discussions continue regarding the inherent limitations of AI tools that produce this content, making it clear that a machine, no matter how advanced, can never capture the essence of human experience. So that's just one side of the invasion slot, but the other side is the economic and physical reflections, something that a lot of people really need to pay attention to. From an economic perspective, AI slop has profound implications. While it may seem attractive for businesses in terms of cost, we are sacrificing customer loyalty and the credibility of our brands in the long run. Companies that realize this begin to prioritize quality over quantity, making it clear at the end of the day, genuine value will always outweigh rapid and massive production. In the world that we live in today, where there's just so much fake, even if it's not AI nowadays, people are just starving for something real. It's just that simple. It's just natively inside of us. And so you just want to know truth. You just want to know what is actually true. So it's just human behavior. In the world where information is produced at an overwhelming pace, the quest for meaningful content becomes more critical than ever. That is very telling. That is actually very important right there. The quest for meaningful content becomes more critical than ever. That is very, very important right there. How can we as a society value what truly matters and avoid getting lost in the fog of digital mediocrity? I think people really need to pay attention to this, and this is why I'm really like these AI gurus are like there's a few of them where I'm just like, bro, you guys are just coming off as fake. I remember when the whole discussion for the bubble started popping up these past, this month, and all their responses were kind of like, oh, it might happen. Oh, I don't know why people are really worried about this. If this is the percentage of what actually happened this year, and this is what's happening that year, and all things like that. And I'm not saying it's gonna cause massive disruption, but number two, increase of job loss. Now I do see this increasing. I don't see this decreasing anytime soon until I see signs of it. And I'm specifically talking about in the Western civilization, UK and US. It's not looking good. And specifically right now, what I've been paying attention to personally, number one, that being junior software engineers. They're less needed nowadays. There's some charts I've seen earlier. This one post I've seen on X says for junior software developers specifically, it's closer to 20%. AI can now produce better first drafts than junior employees. For the economic incentive to assign training tasks to entry-level workers is disappearing because we don't really need people to set things up anymore. We can just have AI to do the startup, and then they have the senior workers take over to finish out the product or whatever it is, the output from their AI augmentation. So it's like they are replacing the junior level, and then eventually they're gonna replace the senior level, right? It's like it's just gonna get better, isn't it? So yeah, it's happening in real time. And this chart right here I seen earlier, this is a US chart for manufacturing, which in January you can see it was at 12K and it decreased by almost 100, which isn't that bad, but it's been in a huge decrease this whole year, right? It hasn't gone up, right? And so this is not just AI. This is really just job loss stuff, economics. This could just be economics. But the other worry is the rise of unemployment, which is definitely due to AI. Unemployment rates in the US and the UK rose sharply, and economics warn that a further rise in joblessness stands as a big risk for 2026. The impact of tax policies, business uncertainty, and bro, when we're talking about tax policies, there's a lot going on with that right now. Business uncertainty and AI adoption are expected to weigh on unemployment. So far, there are limited signs of widespread AI fueled job displacement, but investment is accelerating, and youth unemployment rates in Britain in particular are causing political alarm. Meanwhile, participation in the workforce remains under pressure owing to demographic shifts such as population aging and rising ill health. So it doesn't seem like there's a solution to this right now. Like, we haven't heard that many things. We just heard promises that haven't been brought up to the table as of lately. So definitely something to look out for. AI will most likely replace repetitive work, things like that. It's just gonna happen inside the manufacturing world. You can see that compound like just happening right now. But number 3, people will tend to stay offline and consume online educational content more than entertainment. I do think this is gonna happen. I do think entertainment, Hollywood, things like that, is just gonna become more irrelevant as time goes, and this is gonna be a big cultural shift, in my opinion. First off, if you add up the whole job loss information, struggle, and then what I just said, AI backlash, there's gonna be people that are gonna realize they don't have their luxuries anymore. They don't have the same living style they could have because of struggle. If they decide, hey, yo, the system is not helping me, what can I do? There's gonna be a native to act, and this is why people are doing things like starting online presences, business, personal brands, YouTube channels, all these new businesses starting up. It's because they are seeing through the system and saying, all right, time to do something, right? So more people are going to stay offline, just completely just stay offline because of all the AI slop and stuff like that. But just like, I do think I didn't get a chart. I wanted to put a chart here, but this is more of a speculative take, I guess. But I did see a chart earlier of like 2022 was like the peak of the internet, like peak of the internet, where people were like really interested in it, and then and ever since then it's kind of just been decreasing. A lot of people have been kind of off social media nowadays, more than ever. And it's actually funny that they said this, because around 2022 or beginning of 2023 was really when I was off the internet too. Like, that was my big year where I was just kind of just off it, and I wasn't doing much. But nowadays I'm just kind of and I got really into online educational content, just like my prediction is. But I do see this happening because there will be more, the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer. So if the poor are getting poorer, then what's going to happen, right? They're going to try to fix that. And if you think people with, a big chain on and, nice clothes or maybe a nice car are rich, you're an idiot. You don't know what rich actually is, right? So there will be a shift happening when people don't realize they got that big chain anymore, or whatever it is, like the luxuries or whatever it is, bro. In my opinion, that's just gonna happen. Also, I do see social reevaluation in clubs and parties. So I do see people are not really going to the clubs nowadays, or people are just getting bored of it because it's just so boring. Like, I mean, bro, I've been saying this is gonna happen, and in funny terms, it's happening right now. I think a lot of people are shifting towards more outdoor, activities when it comes to parties. Pool parties is becoming more of a bigger thing, kind of, not really, but I don't know what the bigger shift is gonna be. Honestly, like the next trend, it's definitely, the clubs are always gonna still be there, and all these parties, but there's definitely gonna have to be a shift. That also has to do with people just being on their phones all the time and all that like that. But we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so time to get a little bit real. I ain't gonna lie, this is like a real concern that a lot of people are just not kind of taking into place. China will most likely make its first move in Taiwan, and I'm talking about real soon. I am paying close attention to this, and I'm not trying to be a pessimist in this situation, but US will get involved if that happens. And if US gets involved, I don't need to spell that out. Things could happen, right? So China versus Taiwan will reach a boiling point due to desperation China is not in a good place right now. Like, if you were to look at China in the next 10 years, they just won't be in a good place. Their fertility rate is dropping. There's just communism, just a lot of things are happening. And obviously, yeah, when I say that, it's like there's just things that are blowing up in their face, and they're just gonna have to do what they were gonna do in the first place, which is take over. And that's why they're looking at Taiwan and being like, yeah, we kind of need you, right? And US needs it too. Like, and there's a lot of interviews out there coming out right now saying, yeah, US definitely needs them semiconductors. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, semiconductors is the whole thing about this TSMI. And it's crazy to think that this whole entire thing is this little land controlled by the whole market. Now you can really say it's that one Euro country, which I forget. It's a Poland. Which one is it that actually controls? I forget. But Taiwan is definitely with the TSMI semiconductors. These things, they play a big role, big role when it comes to all the stuff we see today. But yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. And there's news about this coming out right now. Yesterday, or I think this was Monday, which is 2 days ago, China has launched live fire military drills around Taiwan, simulating a blockade of major ports, attacking maritime and target offending of international interferences in what it calls a warning to separatist forces in Taiwan. The People's Liberation PLA, the military wing of ruling Communist Party China, sent in navies, air force, rocket force, and Coast Guard to surround Taiwan on Monday morning for a surprise exercise called Justice Mission 2025, which began less than an hour after it was announced. Yeah, when you see things like that happening, I don't need to spell it out, bro. I don't know why people are not really talking about this as much, but I mean, you definitely see it on your feed, I'm sure, but it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. But yeah, so since all of that, it's my predictions for, this kind of gloomy year that I'm predicting, unfortunately. And I want it to be cool. Prove me wrong in the comments below that this is going to be a nice year. I think these predictions are going to matter most. So I don't care about the positive if all this bad stuff is happening. So my last one is the Great Reset, which honestly, if you look at it, is going to be a good thing. Because it's not like I don't think we're all gonna die. I don't think it's gonna be like massive disruption to the point we're all just gonna starve and die. But I do think there will be a recession temporarily happening. Power exchange is gonna happen. I just see massive change happening, man. I don't see the same system happening. Right? Too many people know too much. It's just gonna be too many people that are gonna become more aware. And then when that happens, revolt happens, revolution happens. It's just happens in every single cycle, right? So I do predict the AI bubble will burst in our faces, not permanently, because I do think it will just come back. Because AI is very useful. Recession, and I do think the US will lose its value. Whether that be to crypto, to BRICS, whatever it is, I do think the US dollar will lose its value, which if you haven't already, I definitely suggest you start working on gaining assets, investing, things like that. That's definitely what I've been doing and paying attention to. So those are my 5 predictions for 2026. Hopefully this year for me goes well. I don't know if it will. Hopefully it does. Like, I'm paying attention to things, but where I'm at, it's kind of like I'm in a gray area, but I am working every day. So if you enjoyed this prediction, feel free to subscribe if you're new. My name is Ray. I'm going to be making a lot more videos on just what the next trend is. I work with AI automation. I do all these AI automation cool things, but I'm also a realist, and I tell people this is where you should adapt to. If this happens, it's not certain. In reality, an illusion. It could all just burst in the next day and you're back on the road. You never know. So it's like, yeah, uncertain times happening. Also headed towards a speed warfare. I do think since coding is just, it speaks English now, we're headed towards a more of a speed warfare where just so many people are just going to be putting out things. You know what I mean? We're not going to be able to catch up. So you really kind of have to be fast with everything you got going on, in my opinion. So those are my predictions. I'm off this. Hopefully things go well for me. Hopefully things go well for you as well. Let 2026 be your year for sure. 100%. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. My name is Ray, and yeah, peace.